Hello, what is up? How's my people? Oh, what's the obsession? Says I'll be there. Patricia Moss says I as well. You guys are the best. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to get here because I did adjust the time, of course. I'd been in a good habit of not doing that for a bit, so I had to break that good habit. Let me see which hat I should wear to get the coloring right. It's like I don't want it to be too dark because the whole set is pretty dark, but I don't want it to be too light because, I think that might be good. It's kind of a pinkish red. We're gonna go with it. Unless I wanted to do the fancy Coach cap, but that's kind of more wintry. It's not that cold out, so I'd probably start to cook. Oh, or should I do the gray with the knight on it? I'll be your knight in shining armor, coming to your emotional rescue. Hello, Christine. How are you, my dear? How's your day? Which hat do you vote for? Here, we'll go ahead and throw the fancy, dancy. No, too much, too orange. How are you? You know how I am. I always say, if choosing my hat is my biggest problem, how effing lucky am I? I hope you're having a good day, my dear. So I have a lot to talk about, of course, always. I always have so much I want to share with you guys. It's just a matter of like, how can I organize my thoughts? Because that's, for me, the tricky part. It's tricky to remember the things that I want to say, which is why I write everything down. Got to clean my glasses and try not to show my skin because I do have like a yoga type of shirt on. You might have just seen part of my back. And if you did, I apologize. Unless you wanted to see part of my back, then you're welcome. You like this one the best? Cool. You and I think alike, right? Great minds think alike. This is one of my old ones. It has a little Princess Leia button on it. I can't even remember what it says. Something about like the resistance, right? Women were made for the resistance or something like that. I'll take it off and read it. I don't think that Watts and Patricia are here right now. They were here earlier because today I was so organized. I actually sent out announcements this morning to a handful of people to let them know that I planned on doing this live. But then, of course, I had to change the time. I had told them 7:30, but then changed it to 8:30. So hopefully they'll get here. What does it say? It says, well-behaved women rarely defeat empires. Ain't that the truth? Well-behaved women rarely defeat empires. So dang, what are your thoughts with this effing war? Should we even talk about it or no? It's too crazy. I want to redo some of the lights, like maybe put this one back here at the dog's booty, put this one up here at the dog's paw, so you can see the puppy dog. We don't want to lose track of the puppy dog there. That's better. And then I've got my drink. I got my glasses clean. I'll just run through my notes with you real quickly, and then we can get started. Everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, learn something, be educational. All of these videos are made for the two of you. And I, of course, do it for my own therapy. It's an educational infotainment process, and I think I covered all the ground. And I'm wanting to read your thing. It scares me that T might ground us all from flying out. Yeah, where are you located? I know I ask you that all the time, and I always forget because I'm like Dory in is it Dory or Dora? It's Dory in Finding Nemo. I can at least remember that it's Dory. Anyway, I forget all the time where people are, and I'm always curious. did not see Terri Moran. Oh, it's funny because I mentioned him in last night's video, and then Mr. T was talking about him today, like wanting to like grill his arse some more. Let me finish up with my stuff and get rolling with everything, because hit your like button if you don't mind. Oh, you're in Wisconsin, southeast Wisconsin. I would not have remembered that in a million years. I love Wisconsin. So southeast, so kind of closer to Chicago. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you are subscribed, turn on your notification bell to ring a ding ding. Share a video of mine with somebody that you think might like my channel. And if you're not subscribed, please, if you don't mind, it's commitment free, and it is free. So it's much appreciated. And just your being here and listening and putting your opinion in the chat or in the comments if you're on the replay crew, it's very much appreciated. I look at this kind of like a group therapy. Like, how are we going to deal with this effing world, right? South of Milwaukee, in between Milwaukee and Madison, that's where that McDonald's was shot up back before things were getting shot up every other day. Were you living there back then, Christine? That was like in the 80s, in the late 80s, I think. I could Google it. You probably remember whether you were living there or not, because it's probably right there if you're anywhere near the freeway that goes from Chicago to Milwaukee. I used to go to Chicago pretty often, and I had a friend in Milwaukee, so I would go through there sometimes. Between Milwaukee and Madison. So I love Madison, OMG. So yeah, not over there by where that McDonald's was, that was right off the freeway. Do you remember that, what I'm talking about? I'm going to Google it real quick. It was probably in the late 80s. And it was, like I said, back before that was a regular thing. Let's see, Wisconsin McDonald's shooter. It was in Kenosha, is that right? August 10th, 1993. Yes, I think that sounds about right. So Kenosha, because isn't Kenosha where that kid was from? We don't need to get all carried away with all of that. Oh wait, there was another shooting there in, no, that was a different one. Was it Kenosha? Let me see, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Yeah, there it is. It's right on the way between the two. How come it's not letting me do stuff? Open in maps. Well, maybe that's a different one, because that's not right off the freeway. But it is halfway in between. So yeah, that was probably at 1993. Lived here for 48 years, but you're south of Milwaukee, in between Milwaukee and Madison. Yeah, so I went to Lake Crivets once for a New Year's thing. Maybe you're familiar with Lake Crivets. It's a tiny little town. And I had a friend who went to college in Appleton. Anyway, and that friend who went to college in Appleton got married in Eau Claire. Is that right? Oh, take me back. Yeah, they did. They got married in Eau Claire, and then I went to their wedding. That was the same trip that I went to Minneapolis. That was the only time I've been to Minneapolis. Um, but it's funny looking at it on the map because I was all turned upside down and around and didn't know how they were geographically situated. This is why I like maps. Annabise, what's up, darling? Sorry to get distracted by my map. I'm like Dora the Explorer. Map, 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 map. I got my notebook, and where's my backpack? Backpack. There's my purse. I didn't ask you guys. I asked Christine how she is. I didn't get a chance to ask Annabise how she is, but also how's my lighting? Everything is going good. Awesome. Yeah, I don't think Patricia is back. She had dropped in early today after I sent out the notices that I'd be coming on live. Her and Kelly from Watsy Obsession. So let's get rolling. I was going to tell you some of the things that I wanted to speak about. I titled this video, I Had a Dream. I got to start with that, you guys. I had a dream about Jeffrey E. I almost, like, in a very tongue-in-cheek, joking kind of way, I was almost like, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm done with this whole YouTube thing. As soon as I got Jeffrey Epstein coming into my dreams, it's time to quit. But no, I'm totally kidding. It turned out good. I handled it well in my dream. So in the dream, I was in some like unfamiliar city, and I had to get an x-ray, and he was the freaking radiologist. And I said, F, no way am I letting that radiologist radiate me. And the hospital was upset with it, but I was like, you want me to tell you about your guy? I'll tell you about your guy. And they fired him, but he was like the only radiologist in town, so they were considering rehiring him. But in the meantime, he had like a recreational center, and he played on the volleyball team there, and everybody played on the volleyball team there, and a good friend of mine played on the volleyball team there. And I tried talking to her, and I was like, but Amy, he's here, he's on the team, it's his court. And she was like, yeah, whatever. And I was just like, get me out of here. So that was pretty much the whole dream. It's funny though, because I used to like always remember my dreams, and they were always fascinating, and I haven't been remembering them for a long time. But all of a sudden lately, I had the one about the white heron flying overhead. And then I had the other one that I shared recently that I can't even remember at the moment. It might be in my notes here. But yeah. Is it in my notes? Anyway, I like sharing them with you. I hope you guys don't mind indulging myself with that, because when you write down your dreams or you talk about your dreams, first of all, you have to write them down or you'll never remember it to retell it later in the day, is what I have found. You have to write it down immediately. And then what I found really fascinating, the first time I had a dream journal and I tried writing down all my dreams, looking back at the journal, reading it years later, I'm not kidding you, the dreams were extremely astute, acute, aware, and insightful to the potential of calling them psychic. But I don't think of it as being psychic. I think of it as just being in tune and paying attention to details and seeing patterns. Anyway, it's really cool. If you guys haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. It's one of the coolest things I've ever done, is the dream journal experiment. And I just have to add, I have to give a shout out to my grandmother, who is the one who gave me the dream journal for my 15th birthday. And I was sort of like, what the F is this? There's like nothing on the pages, but it looked like a book from the way the outside of it looked. And so I was just like, Grandma, what are you thinking? And it turned out to be like the coolest thing in the world, of course, because my grandmother was brilliant. and I was just too young to know it yet. And lighting is good. Awesome. Jeffrey was in your dream. OMG. I know. I told him to get the F out, basically. And he did. And even the hospital did fire him because I told them what he was about. But then, like I said, they were deliberating rehiring him because they had no other radiologists. And I was sort of just like, yeah, well, you need to keep looking. You can't. But I knew that they were going to. So I just had to get out of there. Hope you not planning on travel sooner or later. Christine, I know. So are you talking about the thing with the airport in Washington, D.C. yesterday? They closed down the airport runways. They grounded all the airplanes for like an hour in Washington, D.C. And I don't think it's gotten a lot of coverage. And it freaks me out because they said that they were grounding everything for that 1 hour because there was a chemical smell. And then they said that the chemical smell, and this is coming from Sean Duffy, who is, you know, our MTV star, who's like right there with Keg's breath, but he is the Secretary of Transportation. But he was literally an MTV hottie. That was his claim to fame. And so now he's the Secretary of Transportation. And after it being closed for an hour, he said, oh, nothing to see over here, nothing to worry about. The chemical smell was just from an overheating of some kind of like control board. And it's just like, we're in the middle of a war. And those are the 3 airports in the DC area, you know, like where the Capitol is. What caused the overheating? So you're telling us what caused the chemical smell, but what caused the overheating? Who done it? Because it's my guess that it could have been like a cyber attack. It could also be like chemical warfare, you know, a chemical smell. That's crazy. That's so crazy. Is that what you're referring to, Christine? When you say hope you're not planning on traveling sooner or later? What a nightmare. Yes, in my younger years as well. Oh, you did the dream journal in your younger years as well? Awesome. So yeah, you know how cool it is. And like, even if you're a person that doesn't remember your dreams, once you start writing them down, you start remembering more and more. And then you get to a point where you're just very like lucid and aware throughout the night. Excuse me while I scratch my nose. You know, I always have a fan on me, so then it like blows the hair into my nose. And yeah, I don't like scratching my nose in front of you guys, but you got to do what you got to do. I dreamt that my stepson had no feet. He was bleeding all over. I got his legs wrapped up and took him to the hospital, and he was begging me to help the whole time. We don't talk to him. Oh, Anna Bees, that is a tragic dream. Was this recently or a long time ago? And, you know, having no feet in art therapy, that's like symbolic of not being able to like move around, not being able to do stuff, basically, not being mobile, being stuck, like psychologically being stuck. But yeah, with the red stuff too, it's like being wounded. And how old was he when you had the dream, or how old was he in the dream? Last night. Ah, Anna Bees. Is it because of the war, maybe, do you think? Because your stepson, how old is your stepson? He's probably like 40 or something. Just shot in the dark. I don't know. No, just about staying vigilant about people around you. I would hate to run into JE knowing about him. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anna, maybe subconscious wanting to get back in touch with him. Oh, Granny Annie, hello. I didn't see that that was who the comment was coming from. And then I see the part where you said hi all, and I'm like, wait, what? Um, sorry, I skipped over that it was you here commenting. How are you? He's in his late 40s and drinking all the times and rugs. I am so sorry. That sucks. That sucks so bad. Drinking and rugging. So it's Saturday night, and anybody who is watching, if you're partying, I have no judgment there. Me, however, I'm partying with a veggie smoothie. That's how I roll. That gives me the natural high that I'm looking for. So yeah, I love seeing you guys. I want to talk with you about more of this stuff, but I also I love just chatting. So I hope it doesn't make it boring, when we're just being more chatty. Um, I just find it really satisfying, but I also find it really satisfying to talk about the cases. So try to keep a balance there. Um, where is the updated pages of where I got to? Did you know that Larry Ellison bought TikTok, right? And then he paid the US government a prize for allowing the purchase? We are entering, or we have already entered, the time of propaganda. We have to be very careful with what we consume and just be grateful that we have access to anything to consume. I'm pretty sure that Daddy Vladdy shut off internet access in his country a few days ago. Have you guys heard about that? I haven't really gotten an update, but I'm imagining he's not going to allow people to communicate and find out what's really going on. And I'm worried that we could be headed there at the drop of a hat, because dear leader, our dear supreme leader wannabe, he is messing with us on the same scale. I took a screenshot, and maybe I'll look at it and read it to you guys. It's really bad. Really, really bad. Let's see. Oh, Granny, yes, probably trying to get in touch with GI Granny. Trying to get in touch with GI Granny. What is GI Granny? I'm confused. Sorry, I spelled that word out. Oh, no, you're fine. Thank you for your being so conscientious. Good for you, Jazz. I'm drinking a Frappuccino. Oh, that sounds really good, too. I'm drinking Earl Grey tea. I love Earl Grey tea. Love it, love it, love it. I was thinking about having a cup of hot tea before I came on, but that would have just been one more thing to slow me down. And I didn't want anything to slow me down any more than I already was slowed down. Why did Ellis want TikTok? Yes, both sides, in my opinion, have propaganda aimed at them. LMO, in my opinion, IMO. Right. I think it's Ellis. I think it's the Larry Ellis, the guy who owns Oracle, because he's trying to control the world and take over the world, and they see social media as, like, what did they call it? Like the eighth territory of war or something like that. I did hear that Daddy Vladdy cut off the internet. Yeah, we could look it up too to get current news on it. During shots, our government censored us. Things that were true, hidden. I lost 2 to shots. Sad times. That's crazy. Yeah, what did we used to call it? The Rona. The Rona. I thought monopolies were illegal, aren't they? Yeah, they're supposed to be. But then there's the problem with Ticketmaster too. Like Ticketmaster was getting sued and they were going to have to break up into a bunch of smaller companies, and dear leader said, "No, you're good. We're going to dismiss this case." And so we get to stick with the Ticketmaster monopoly. These billionaires and rockets. My rocket scientist friend works for the Google guy. I don't know which one is the Google guy. Google guy. Remind me which one is the Google guy. My attorney friend was in coronary care unit, and Kaiser said, sorry, he passed, and we have 0 reasons. Kaiser Permanente. That's a big monster company, isn't it? Kind of like group health. Some people refer to group health as group death. So yeah, I wanted to look up the country that begins with the letter R, internet access, internet blackout, internet shutdown. Yeah, cell phone and internet services are still restricted. That is so scary. That is so crazy. WTF. I'll look at an AP News article. Many foreign websites were blocked Friday on mobile phones in central Moscow under restrictions that have gripped the Russian capital for more than a week. More than a week. Derailing the routine of millions of residents and slamming businesses that rely on cell phone internet. Russian authorities have said that the restrictions are part of security measures to fend off Ukrainian drone attacks. That's bullcrap. But many industry experts suspect they are part of preparations by the authorities to block Russians' access to the global web if the Kremlin decides to do so. This is so effing scary. It's not just a Russia problem. Especially Daddy Vladdy and the supreme leader wannabe being like this, but they're on the outs right now. I don't understand. I really don't understand. I think Daddy Vladdy, if it's not the P tapes, it's something like the P tapes. Like he's definitely got the upper hand with Donnie. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. Okay. I thought there was new comments, but I'm all caught up. The intermittent shutdowns, which had previously been recorded in dozens of Russia's regions for months, have prompted some Moscow residents to turn to long forgotten gadgets like walkie-talkies, pagers, and media players. Holy crap. I wonder if this is not why so many people love their CB radios still, is because they're like, prepping for the Armageddon. I figure that's part of it. The shutdowns are part of multi-pronged efforts by authorities to rein in the internet. They have adopted restrictive laws and banned websites and platforms that don't comply. And that's what our government is trying to do. That idiot Carr guy who is it Andrew Carr? I don't even know his name, but he's like the one that owns CBS. Banning websites and platforms that don't comply. Technology also has been perfected to monitor and manipulate online traffic. After President Vladdy Daddy sent troops into Ukraine February of 2022, the government has blocked all social media sites like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Last year, Russia's communication watchdog announced it was restricting popular messaging apps, WhatsApp and Telegram. And I just wanted to tell you this article is from today. It's from this yesterday afternoon, Friday the 13th. And it's the AP News. So just getting to the end of it. The Associated Press News. They're a pretty reliable source, in my opinion. Okay, this one I didn't read. Granny Annie's billionaires, mega yachts with their own electricity and rockets to get away from measles they made, in my opinion. Well, yeah, and the bunkers that they're building and that whole thing. I think Vladdy and BB don't like each other. Well, yeah, I mean, all these people are frenemies. I mean, Vladdy and BB have been tight, but of course they're going to be at each other's throats, just like little E and little T, and just like the Supreme Leader and Daddy Vladdy. I mean, they're all like besties with like a love-hate relationship, right? The bromances, basically. It's probably smart to get a CB radio. Warning of cyber attacks here made me think they may do this to us as well, so we don't know what's going on with warring. Absolutely. The cyber attacks, the microwave attacks, chemical attacks. But yeah, I was watching a Terri Moran piece this morning on MS Now, and it like clipped part of it out. I have already put that video link in the description of this video, and it was right at the 4-minute mark, and I was going to play it for you guys too, but it's already in the description. It was just interesting because I just mentioned Terri Moran yesterday, and I hadn't like seen him in the news in a while. And then I was checking to see, because I thought he was with MSNBC before he got resigned. And he was with ABC News when he did that interview with the dear leader. And I put a link to that interview in yesterday's video description. But now it looks like he might be with MS Now. He also has his own YouTube channel. Let's see. Anna, you were right. We need CB radios and good secret handles. I will think of a good one. I will have to think of a good one. Yes, CB radios to communicate. I like the idea of walkie-talkies, or maybe like the tin cans and the strings. And I have to apologize, you guys. I have a ton of wax on my braces today, but it feels so like painless, which it is never painless. So it's probably interfering with my speech a little bit more than normal, but it's worth it to me. I hope it's not too annoying to you guys. I get the braces adjusted the day after tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to that. I've been dying. Well, they all have underground bunkers. Wow, Jazz, Jinx, we did it again. We do it all the time, Annabees. It's wild, isn't it? Yes. City elites building elaborate bunkers. Elaborate. Yeah, well, I knew. Yeah, the spelling. The fat thumbs, the misspell. I can't remember where, but I was watching Nurse Erica. Oh, and we got to talk about Erica Kirk some more too. What a Looney Tune. And she said Stryker got hacked. They wiped out the hospital's internet. Holy crap. Um, I feel like these news guys starting their YouTube channels is the death of their mainstream media gigs, in my opinion. I think it is, but it's also like it frees them up to be more creative and just have the freedom to express their opinions and talk about what they want to talk about. And so for a lot of them, it's, like Don Lemon is a good example. I mean, his has probably been a huge moneymaker. I mean, I'm not a huge Don Lemon fan personally. I mean, he's got a lot of positive qualities, but we'll just leave it at that. But a lot of them go off on their own. Joy Reid, obviously, and Katie Fang, Katie Couric. I mean, maybe that's what Savannah Guthrie will do. Maybe she'll do something like with missing people or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, the death of the mainstream media is on us. So I don't think the death of your mainstream media gig is necessarily a bad thing at all. In a lot of ways, it's probably a blessing in disguise. I mean, I'm sure it's a tough transition to go through, and it's always tough getting fired or getting resigned, however it happens. You know, my thing I always say, you guys have probably heard me say it a million times, like, quit, got fired. What's the difference? The only difference is, were you invited to the party or not? And that's like from a sitcom or maybe like Kids in the Hall or something like that. Reminds me of the 60s. Your wax can never offend us. Oh, you're too sweet, Granny Annie. Well, and I pushed it down. It's like it takes so much time to get it just perfect. And then drinking hot tea is good too for like making it even more perfect and smoothing it down, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to grab some tea before I came on. But I didn't, but it's all right. EK, yuck. Yeah, she's insane. That Erica Kirk, man, she's problematic AF. Mainstream media sucks. A bunch of liars. Yeah, it's pretty whack. There's like a sound right outside my window. I don't know what it is. I bet it's a car that stopped in front of my house. It's probably my husband, because he's working tonight. He's the fuzz, and maybe he's driving by to grab some dinner. So he's a cop in the town that we live in. I know I've shared with you guys that he's a cop, but I never mentioned that it's the town that we live in where he is a cop. So that's one of the reasons why I try to be like on the down low about some stuff, like my name. And I share my name with those of you that I email and text with, and like my exact location, Springfield ish. But yeah, I was hoping that he'd get a job somewhere else so I wouldn't have to be so secretive about that crap. But, we'll see. LOL, that's very cool for him. It is cool for him that he can stop by the house to grab food. It's super cool. Yeah. Because then he doesn't have to like live on donuts and stuff. My daughter left a company on good terms. Her twin, not so much. The good twin recently qualified for a management position at former company. Mom, they even threw me a going away party. No rehire. Extraterrestrial outside the window. Yeah, that would be fun. I'd be like, take me, right? That's like an old song from the 60s. So I was going to look something else up and now I forget what it was. Do you guys remember? It was something very fascinating. Oh, the thing about Terri Moran. I think I was going to hold on, prepare yourself because it's going to like white out my screen because I'm going to try to look at a screenshot and read it to you. Let's see if I can do this without screwing stuff up. There we go. Come on. There we go. Where is that screenshot? Is that it? No, this one is it. Okay. So this is something that the Trumpster Fire posted today, and it has 3 sections. The first section is gone, the second section is reforms, and the third section is winning. He's really lost his mind, even more so than he already had. So it says President Trump is reshaping the media is the title of this like sticker that he made. It's like almost like a meme. And gone are PBS defunded, NPR defunded, Terri Moran out at ABC, Joy Reid out at MSNBC, Lester Holt out at NBC. I didn't know Lester Holt was out. Damn. The Washington Post, massive layoffs. Colbert leaving CBS. No more biased fact checking on Meta. Chuck Todd out at NBC. I don't even know who Chuck Todd is. Big decline in MSM ratings, mainstream media. Yeah, dude. Like, it's fine that he's taking over all this stuff because it's all going to be extinct anyway. He's just like speeding it up. Jim Acosta out at CNN. And Jim Acosta, I love him. He's amazing. John Dickerson out at CBS. And I kind of know who John Dickerson is. So the reforms, record-setting interviews, Donald Trump. Truth Social booming. First POTUS to join NFL broadcast. FCC broadcast accountability. Most accessible POTUS ever. $15 million settlement from ABC. Saved TikTok. New ownership of CNN. News bias ombudsman. CBS. Isn't that the position that he was going to put Erica Kirk in? And maybe he did. Maybe he's putting her in all these different positions because, you know, like she's got all kinds of free time. Because it's not like she's got a couple of kids or anything. It's not like she's running TP at USA or anything. Okay, Disney ends key DEI practices. X, free speech on X. And then equal time on broadcast television. So that's like referring to the thing when he made Colbert not play that interview with that Democrat religious guy from Texas. And let's see. I gotta go back. And now I'm going to read you the last part. If I can. The last part is called Winning. And it's got 3 pictures of you-know-who, the Supreme Leader. The first one is a cover of a Time magazine. And at the top it says, Trump's World, Time. And then the next one says, it says The Guardian. Trump is waging war against the media and winning. And then Hollywood Reporter, Trump's media pitbull is off the leash. So 3 pictures of him. He is so freaking self-obsessed. And then what was the other thing I wanted to read to you guys right here, I think? Oh, Brendan Carr. That's the guy. I was trying to remember his name. The guy who purchased CBS. Anyway, I'm going to read you this crap that he posted. Broadcasters that are running hoaxes and news distortions, also known as the fake news, have a chance now to correct course before their license renewals come up. The law is clear. Broadcasters must operate in the public interest and they will lose their licenses if they do not. And frankly, changing course is in their own best interest, since trust in legacy media has now fallen to an all-time low of just 9% and are rating disasters. The American people have subsidized broadcasters to the tune of billions of dollars by providing free access to the nation's airwaves. It is very important to bring trust back into the media, which has earned itself the label of fake news. When a political candidate is able to win in a landslide election victory after in the face of hoaxes and distortions, there is something very wrong. It means the public has lost faith and confidence in the media, and we can't allow that to happen. Time for change. So Brendan Carr is a freaking Fruit Loop. OMG. Okay, I'm back now. It all worked out. We're all still here. Grrr. Lester Holt. I know, I love him. They're aging out. One gal for 48 hours, or one of those is almost splitting her dentures, and I can't understand her. Well, we were talking about that last night, how Trump has that like mouthpiece because he blew out the top of his palate in his mouth. But yeah, there's times where he's really slurring his speech, where he sounds drunk, or where he'll just like slur a couple of words so bad you're like, what? But it's probably his mouthpiece getting loose or falling or something. Let's see. Laugh my arse off. My doctor left a company on. Oh, I already read that one about the no rehire. Extraterrestrial out the window. Lester Holt. He is the only one who gives out fake news. Yes, from the snow. Yeah, the powder, the white stuff. I think that powder, that white stuff, had so much more to do with Truckee and Kylie Rodney's case than was ever even like hinted to or alluded to. You know, the whole thing with Shannon Moon and talking about the Kylie Rodney case. Shannon Moon, the sheriff of Nevada County, and how the Nevada County prison system was like the car that doesn't tell in the area. And, you know, the white powder is huge, especially in the Tahoe area, in my understanding. And Reno's right there. And teenagers that party. I mean, come on. We know that they were into Molly and the K-hole thing, ketamine. But blow is never really talked about, but I've always suspected that had a lot to do with everything. Patricia Moss, hey there, darling. How are you, my dear? Tony Dodge ran all-night radio for truckers, hauling girls, in my opinion. Went to interview Sammy Smith, that signals transporting on Kylie's family, in my opinion. I completely agree with you, Granny Annie, 100%. It's all wackadoodle. He lived in Arizona, and apparently where he lived in Arizona, there were a lot of young girls missing in his neighborhood. It was weird. And yeah, everything about him was weird. And that freaking late night chat that he had where he said that he was into necro and pedo, and then it got deleted. But fortunately, I believe that was Ryan Upchurch who took a screenshot of that and saved it. What a creep that man was. But then, you know, you got to remember too that MC Ultra was connected with Iqmael, And so she's like, well, I'll just call my friend Ickmail and have him set up an interview with Scammy. And then without her knowing, Scammy got shifted over to Tony Dodge. But Tony was there, I think, in Truckee, which is maybe why he got the interview, because I'm pretty sure he had like a mobile studio and he was right there on the premises when they had that interview, when she was sitting in her car. That's always been my understanding anyway. They definitely have rugs moving through there. Yeah, and same with when you head up north, the University of Idaho, going through there, Interstate 90, going through I'd have to look at a map again. I don't have my atlas in here, but all of those areas are like main points. Like that was a huge issue with the Moscow case with the Idaho 4, Pullman and Moscow, major shipping points, major traffic going through there. Again, though, I'd have to look at the map to see where Interstate 90 is in relation. I think Interstate 90 goes right through Pullman, which is just a couple of miles north. Let's see. Yeah, I think that Ruggs had much more to do with that case than was ever really talked about, too. I mean, a lot of us talked about it, but it like got downplayed and poo-pooed all the time. So where is Interstate 90? Where are you? It's not even giving me the interstate on here. It's just giving me the well, I think that Interstate 90 goes through Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. I could be wrong. And Pullman is a little bit south of there. Why aren't you giving me the interstates? What the heck is wrong with you? 1 second. Interstate 90. Because Interstate 80 goes right through Truckee. Right through Truckee. And Reno. So my goodness. Here we go. Yeah, it goes right through Spokane. I-90 does. And then let's see. And I'm like I-70 goes right through Springfield, Ohio. It also goes right through Columbus, Ohio, as well as right through Indianapolis. And yeah, those interstates, man. So the whole thing with Les Wex and his widget factories, clothes and candles and bath products, Bed Bath and Beyond, and the L Brands, the Limited and Victoria's Secret. You don't make billions of dollars selling clothes and candles. It's just not a thing. But when you're shipping them all over the country, imagine all the stuff that you could put in those trucks that you could make big money on. I also have wanted to bring up Bath and Body Works because when I moved back to Ohio from the Pacific Northwest in 2009. You know, we had Bath and Body Works there too, but I was stunned at how prolific they were in Ohio. They're everywhere. They're like freaking gas stations. I mean, you can't go 3 blocks without running into a Bath and Body Works. And I always get it confused with Bed Bath and Beyond. Did I say Bed Bath and Beyond a minute ago? Sorry if I did. I meant Bath and Body Works. But all of the airports, at least Ohio airports, have Bath and Body Works in them. There are just too many of them. And the stuff is so jacked up. They have sales and they sell a lot with their sales, but the theory, not my theory, but a theory in general, is that everything that the L Brands makes and sells is all just widgets to launder money for Daddy Vladdy and BB. And Les Wex has a weird long family history going back generations with the country that begins with the letter R in particular. I want to say his grandfather. Let's see. Let me just see if my voice to text will work. Leslie Wexner. No, it's not going to do it. His granddad. What did his granddad do? I want to say he was a chef for somebody like Stalin. Let's see if AI will tell me. I still have to watch his full deposition. I'm excited to do that, but I haven't done it yet. So let me see if I just do family history. It's something I've been wanting to share with you guys for a long time because I looked it up a few months ago. So both of his parents were of Russian Jewish origin. He donates more money to the country that begins with the letter I than any other corporation in Ohio every year. Maybe more than any other corporation in the country. I forget, but it's a lot. His father was born in the R country and his mother was born in Brooklyn. So maybe it was his father. Let's see. I'll have to do more research later. The family tree. Yeah, I'll look more into that later, unless you guys know something about it. Oh, I didn't realize that his wife was a New York attorney, Abigail. I remember looking her up live recently, and she's gorgeous. She's like looks like a model, but she was a New York attorney, and they married in '93. And I was thinking today more about Angela Chow. Angela Chow passed away in her Tesla in a weird accident on her own property, February 11th of 2024. And I was thinking about it because somebody passed away on February 16th, 2024. That was Alexei Navalny. Am I saying his name right? You guys know who Alexei Navalny is, right? The guy who was outspoken against politics. Daddy Vladdy put him in jail and poisoned him and all that. So he passed away in jail 5 days after Angela Chow passed away. And Angela Chow is the younger sister of Mitch McConnell's wife. And she was a shipping magnate. She owned a huge company that her parents had started. She was the CEO. Her first husband, Wasserstein, was the president of the Foremost Group, a big shipping company. He passed away 10 months after she married him. And, you know, just all this shipping stuff, it just was blowing my mind. And just to be a bunch of free associating wingnutness, then I was thinking about the Stark family that passed away in that small plane crash in Boca Raton a year ago, that had a company, a multi-billion-dollar company that worked very closely with Cisco and other companies like that. And then around the same time, there was the small airplane that crashed up in the Catskills Mountains. And the husband was a neurobrain surgeon. The mother was a gynecologist. The daughter was studying neurobrain surgery too. The son's girlfriend that was on the airplane was about to go to Harvard Law School, and she was already pre-law school. She was already specializing in immigration law. So all of those brains that went down in flames on that plane. And then remember that helicopter that fell out of the sky in Brooklyn, in New York City, right at the beginning of Trump's term? That helicopter that just fell apart and went right into the Hudson River. And they swore that it wasn't shot at or anything, that it just fell apart. But the pilot was like military trained. And the family that was on that helicopter had just gotten into New York. They were from Spain. And it was, the husband was the CEO of the Seaman Corporation. And the wife was like the executive director of communications for the same Siemens company. And then their 3 kids, they were all on a family vacation, I think for the mom's 40th birthday or something like that. And it just, you know, Siemens company, for anybody that doesn't know, is a huge corporation that has like a hand in everything, kind of like an Elon Musk kind of company. But that company, I always forget the name of it, the one with the Stark family down in Boca Raton. It's like US Com. I always struggle with that damn thing. Stark family, Boca Raton. It's like US Intel Com Company LLC. And they specialize in satellite and cable fiber optic network communication systems. And let's see, US Intel Com LLC. Yeah, it's, the name of the company is US Info hyphen Com, COMM Inc. So the president and part owner was Stephen Robert Stark. And then it was his granddaughter was on the airplane with him, and his son. Let's see. It was so sad. Stephen Stark. Stephen Stark was her dad, 54 years old, and the grandfather, Robert Stark, 81. And Robert Stark was the one who started the company, and then Stephen Stark was like inheriting, I think, the position of CEO since Robert Stark was 81 years old. But I don't know who owns the company now. US Infocom. Let me look that up real quick and then I'll get back to your comments. US Infocom, and off of my free association thing. And where it crashed in Boca Raton, not far from Mar-a-Lago, data network support and deployment, telecommunications. But what I was looking for here is, let's see, About Us. It was formed in 1988. Product, services, solutions, data sheets. Because they only work with like 5 companies, and Cisco is one of them. But I don't know that I'm getting to the right area on the. Oh, here we go. Cisco, Hewlett Packard, Microsoft, Avaya, and Polycom. So yeah, 5 technical partners. So, we've all heard of Cisco, Hewlett Packard, Microsoft, maybe not so much Avaya or Polycom, but US Infocom, they really tried to downplay like that Stark family just had like a small cottage business, like they sold muffins or bagels or something. That's what made me so suspicious. And so all of those plane crashes and that helicopter falling apart, those were all shortly after the inauguration, but it was a year before that Angela Chow drowned in her Tesla on her own property. And then I did not know about her first husband that passed away 10 months after they got married, and that that he was the president of the Foremost Group shipping company. Interesting with her family business, and his last name was Wasserstein, and I know that that's a really big last name, Wasserstein. I mean, that's like being married to an Oppenheimer or something like that, or a Rockefeller. Wasserstein. But yeah. Anyway, Alexa Navalny, I was looking him up, and then, like I said, I'm going to get back to your comments. Sorry if I'm like off here in La La Land. That's what happens when I pick up my phone, huh? Alexei. I wish I could say his name better. I always choke on it. Alexei Navalny. It's Navalny. So he was Russian. He passed away 5 days after Angela Chow. He was an opposition leader, anti-corruption activist, political prisoner. He founded Anti-Corruption Foundation in 2011. He was recognized by Amnesty International as a prisoner of conscience and awarded the Sakharov Prize for his work on human rights. And what else does it say? Through his social media accounts, Navalny, I think that's how you say it, and his team published material about corruption in Russia, organized political demonstrations, and promoted his campaigns. In a 2011 interview, he described Russia's ruling party, United Russia, as a party of crooks and thieves, which became a popular byname. Navalny and the FBK have published investigations detailing alleged corruption by high-ranking Russian officials and their associates. Navalny twice received a suspended sentence for embezzlement in 2013 and 2014. Both criminal cases had been widely considered politically motivated and intended to bar him from running in future elections. He ran in the 2013 Moscow mayoral election and came in second with 27% of the vote, but was barred from running in the 2018 presidential election. In August 2020, Navalny was hospitalized after being severely poisoned with a nerve agent. He was medically evacuated to Berlin and discharged a month later. He accused President Daddy Vladdy of being responsible for his poisoning, and an investigation implicated agents from the Federal Security Service. In January 2021, Navalny returned to our country and was immediately detained on accusations of violating parole conditions while hospitalized in Germany. Violating parole conditions while hospitalized in Germany. Whoa. Following his arrest, mass protests were held across Russia. The next month, Navalny's suspended sentence was replaced with a prison sentence of over 2.5 years detention, and his organizations were later designated as extremist and liquidated. In March 22, Navalny was sentenced to an additional 9 years in prison after being found guilty of embezzlement and contempt of court in a new trial described as a sham by Amnesty International. Following the rejection of his appeal, Navalny was transferred to a high-security prison in June. In August 2023, he received another sentence of 19 years on extremism charges. In December 2023, Navalny went missing from prison for almost 3 weeks. I remember that. He reemerged in an Arctic Circle corrective colony in the Yamalo-Nenets Autonomous Okrug. In 2024, the Russian prison service reported that Navalny had died. Holy crap. Okay, I'm going to set that down now and catch back up with you guys. What have I missed? Misadi. Oh my goodness. Stop that. And I've had it on top chat this whole time. Now it's on live chat. So if I've missed any comments, that explains why. So where am I? Okay, here we are. Anna B says, I think you are correct, Jazz. He was there. See, Annie agrees too. See, and I didn't even know like where I got that from. That whole thing about him being in like an RV. Like maybe he was parked at Boca. Remember that whole thing with the Boca parking spot and the emails and that case. Where's our Kylie? What happened to Kylie? Let's see. Tony went to Truckee, but had been on radio with the Russian operative gal that was headed at 2 a.m. sleeping at the lake. OMG. What's her name? Xanax? No, Xaname? The Russian gal. Was she Russian? I thought she was Ukrainian. She said she was Ukrainian. Remember? She was like rescuing all of her family or something. Holy crap. It can't be that that case has so much to do with everything, can it? I mean, seriously. Like, why did they have Homeland Security, U.S. Marshals, scads of FBI agents? They had so many agencies and resources out there. Ugh, it just makes my skin crawl. It makes my skin crawl. And all of that crap with Bohemian Grove. Okay, I'm catching up with you guys. I'm going to get caught up to where you're at in the chat. I apologize for falling behind. I fell down a K-hole. Let's see. I think you are correct, Jess. He was there. See, Annie agrees too. Okay, so read both of those. Kylie's mom owed for fraudulent COVID grants. Did she sell Kylie to pay the debts? Well, I've always wondered that because she probably didn't have the money, but also I would think that you would get in more trouble than just having to pay it back. And because there was a lot of that. There was a lot of fraud during the COVID stuff with those PPE loans. Christine says, my husband just said, amazing. Someone else still uses a map. Oh, I love maps. I do. I know I have all my paper, not all of them. I got rid of a lot of them. Like my husband and I collected maps. You know, we were always members of USAA, so you could get like all the maps for free that you wanted if you were like a AAA plus member. And we would get like our little triptychs, you know, you'd get your like road map printed out by them for your road trip. Back in the good old days. Wild, huh? I'm good was on your page just hanging out and noticed What's the Obsession was in queue for your live. So I decided I would check her show for the first time. Oh, she's the best. Especially with the Watts case. Thought I would just go there for a minute. Oh, was she on tonight too? See, she and I, we always want to be in each other's chats and we're always live at the same time. So, you know, that's the problem with being a content creator. And a lot of times, you know, you try not to be doing a live when you're wanting to be in someone else's live. But if you do that, then it really messes with your own content creating. So you just kind of have to like stay on a straight and narrow path and just maybe get caught up on replay. Because, yeah, otherwise I could just be on other people's lives all day long. I remember Sammy mentioning 89. I don't know. Oh, 89, like the slip number for the camping at Boca. Is that what you're saying, Annabise? Patricia, What's the Obsession is good. I watch her sometimes. Yeah, I love Kelly. Kelly's the one who got me to break the ice with getting on the tube of you. You guys might know the story. She had invited me onto her panel way back before I ever thought about having a YouTube channel. And I was Xena Warrior Princess, right? That was my stage name. Like right before we went on, she's like, oh, you have to come up with a stage name. And I'm like, I don't know. Xena? It just came to me. So yeah, some of you guys still call me that. If you knew me from Xena Warrior Princess. Let's see. My DLI works for Stila Cosmetics. Knows about E, goes to Victoria's Secret shoots. My daughter-in-law works for Stella Cosmetics. Knows about E, goes to Victoria's Secret shoots. Interesting. And Christine says, remember the old guy at community meeting talking about airport and missing girls in Truckee. I kind of do and I kind of don't, Christine. If you want to refresh our memories more, that is pretty wild. I haven't been buying Bath and Body Works for about a year now. Yeah, I try not to buy it. I really liked their candles. I have a bunch of their candles right up there, actually, but I don't burn them. I should just throw them out. No, I'm just kidding. I can't. Um, but yeah, their candles are like $24 for the big ones, but then like a couple of times a year they go on sale for like $10 or something. And they do a good job with the smells, but I haven't been into their store since I learned about all this stuff. But I still own a ton of their body sprays and hand soaps and um, hand sani. I confess I do, but I try not to buy it anymore. Let's see. I haven't been buying Bath and Body Works. We saw that handbag company that intentionally had pedo symbols to attract that type. Bagalanchi, Granny Annie. I don't remember that with the handbag company. Um, I was going to guess Kate Spade because remember all the weird scandal with Kate Spade when she allegedly offed herself? I was going to look at that. There's, like I was even wondering, like Sinead O'Connor, like she allegedly offed herself. She was probably working on some like transporting, busting kind of thing, knowing her, right? Sinead O'Connor, the singer. I was going to look that up. I don't know if there's any controversy and scandal. Shall I look it up? Dare I touch my phone? I meant to look it up the other day. Sinead O'Connor conspiracy. Because remember when she ripped up the picture of the Pope? That was big. Um, hmm. Oh, did she? She did speak out against child abuse. It wasn't a conspiracy. I'm reading. It wasn't a conspiracy theory. It was a documented fact. The revelation spread worldwide. Ireland, where Sinead was from. Holy crap. Wait a second. Um, I don't know. What is this? Is this just like AI slop? Um, what is this? You just can't trust the internet, can you? I, okay, I'll have to like dive down that rabbit hole another time. I was getting all caught up with you guys. I remember now. Um, the handbag company. Christine, the guy in the orange shirt. Yes. They shut him up real fast through Christine. They said, we'll talk to you later through Christine. What are you guys talking about? What did I miss? It cut me off. Don't think I would be there very long because I'm just not Watts obsessive. Boy, was I wrong. It was nothing that I expected. I was captivated. It was Bella Uncensored. Oh my God, she's so good with Bella. Because, yeah, I was like more focused on Cece just because Cece's so cute and little. And Kelly got me like all crazy over Bella. Bella was so sensitive and so smart. And like, she knew in a sense, like being the big sister, she was close to 5. She was very, very um, trepidatious. Like she knew something was up, I think. She was a remarkable young kid. Very precocious little girl. Adorable. Um, they said Sod will talk to you in the back. They did not want to address him in public. Yes, Christine. I'm so confused. Yes, that's what they did. Patricia, that sounds interesting. Christine, we have learned smaller planes are not required to file flight plans. A guy I dated flew in and out of Truckee Airport just for a day of skiing. Cool, but to kidnap girls, easy. Isn't that nuts? Um, Zanime, yes, Ukrainian. Her and Tony connected. Russian gal had wet hair. Okay, Ukrainian, but she had been swimming at 2 a.m. Her hair was wet. Next, Kylie's car found where they already searched. Right, and remember, she got rolled in Truckee. She rolled down the hill. She had her cell phone charger and her dog, and she got rolled. Maybe she was in a fight with Scammy because Scammy got rolled too, huh? There was more going on than we know. There was so much more going on than we know, obviously. I was talking about 89 Highway. Oh, right. The 89. I remember now because that, I think the 89 went from Prosser Lake to downtown Truckee. You're so smart, Anna Bees. Kate Spade was from KC. Um, Kansas City? Kate Spade was from Kansas City? Interesting. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing with her always seemed extraordinarily scandalous. I don't know much about it. I sound like Trumpster Fire now. I don't know much about it. I'd have to look into that. Um, let's see. Conspiracy theories try to connect the Clintons to her passing away. This is from something called PolitiFact, February 18th, 2020. It's true that Spade's brand, Kate Spade New York, was involved in 2 Clinton Foundation projects, but the company was one of several participating brands. Um, remember, David Spade, the comedian, is the brother of Kate Spade. I forgot about that. I love David Spade. He was a great comedian. And he was tight with Heather Locklear. Heather Locklear, by marriage, is related to Donald Trump. I think Heather Locklear's mother is Marla Maples' sister or cousin, something like that. Um, yeah, and it was like, wasn't it around the same time as Anthony Bourdain? Ew, I wonder if Anthony Bourdain had to do with, you know, the cuisine, the beef jerky cuisine. Um, Let's see. I know there was a lot of conspiracy around his passing away. Um, oh my goodness. So I guess he talked about cannibalism a lot. I did not know this. Okay. One more rabbit hole. Let's go. So Kate Spade was from Kansas City. Was David Spade from Kansas City too? When they like grew up together? I do remember her ripping up the picture of the Pope. She was at a Catholic school growing up, I think. I think it might have been Pope John Paul who retired. Yeah, I think it was Pope John Paul. That was like in the 90s. Um, Beleg, Belegage, Belengiash, I can't say that word. Bangladesh, we'll just say Bangladesh bags in 2022 featured little girls holding bound and gagged teddy bears. Holy crap, Granny Annie. I got to look that up. I'm sorry. I keep saying I'm putting down my phone. I've got to look that up. CIA. That's interesting that CIA is in the name, huh? Little girls and teddy bears. Let's see what comes up. Toddlers, teddy bear, and bondage. This is November 30th, 2023. Mission Kids Advocacy Center. Okay, so November 29th, 2022, The Guardian, Balenciaga apologizes